Alright, it's raining and I didn't realise that I'm wearing a stained hoodie until I left the house. I'm not very far from my house, but still. There was one question that I was kind of thinking of, and it's like what does it exactly, like I know you've probably heard this before, but like what does it mean to live? Or are we living? Like I'm just kind of questioning right now, like am I living? What do I do? Well, I go, I work full time. I went on a holiday. I bought new clothes. I hung out with friends loads of times. It was drinking though, so I kind of discredit it as like a healthy, fun thing to be doing. I discredit it. Should I? Should I discredit a fun thing that I did because it had drinking involved and drugs? But should I not be able to promote that to myself as a healthy thing that I did? Should it be like an unhealthy thing? Or should it be not living? Should I consider that to mean that I'm not like living my life? If all I'm doing is drinking and working, well, yeah, maybe. The catch is as well though, when I go out for drinks with my friends, some of the times, because they're DJs, I'm actually just taking photos as well. I'm a photographer, so I'm doing photography, I'm drinking, I'm making friends. I've made so many friends over the past while. People that if I see in the street, I would stop to them. I stop to talk to them. And now the area I live in, there's people that are still like that because the friends I made in the past, but not in a way where like, wow, I truly cherish these people that I went to school with, or these people who I grew up in the same area as. It actually couldn't be any different, bar for like a couple of people. I've just moved on to be another person. And is the reason that I don't feel like I'm living, because some of the things that I'm doing are part of like this new life that I've created for myself or whatever, and the other things that I'm doing, such as like just jacking my dick to porn, or like I was gonna say having casual sex, but that's kind of keep me from trusting another woman with a relationship, and I'm kind of fine with that, to be honest. That's kind of okay. But anyway, is this like is that why like there's like habits that you're still doing that you like are like a part of like the old way of doing things? But does that mean you're not living? Does that necessarily mean that you're not actually living just because you're not doing absolutely everything you want to do? To an extent, I actually think, yeah, but not fully. Like I'm trying to find like kind of a balance, because it takes a lot to go out and make friends. It takes a lot to go out and do start a photography business. It takes a lot to experiment with who you are as a person more. I think it takes a lot for all of these things, just those small simple things like making friends, starting up a hobby, and making money from it if you want, and working. These things are difficult. They're mandatory, but like they don't just come naturally to everyone. Like it's kind of hard to get a job. I travelled solo to a new country to see my friends, and like all those things deserve credit, but as I've been home the last couple of days, I haven't felt like an accomplished person really. I haven't felt like someone that actually did something really mature. I don't feel like someone that has actually done really anything or had a hobby. Is it because I smoke weed? Is it because I drink too much? Like, is it because I have casual sex? Is it because I don't hike all the time? Would I still feel like this if I hiked all the time? Would I still feel like this if I had more photography opportunities and could work full time doing photography? Would I be happier in any of these scenarios? Like, I just kind of think sometimes, like, if I can't be happy right now with the way things are right now, without changing anything, just right here, right now, be grateful. If I can't do that and just live in the present, right now, I'll never enjoy anything. I'll never be able to live in the moment with anything, because there's always just going to be a struggle. Like, about a year back, my struggle would have been relationships and all that. Now, I go to the club, I just chat up girls, or I get on a dating app and I just chat up girls. Like, it's not a huge thing. I don't have to be in a relationship, and I'm not on and off with an ex-girlfriend in a relationship that I didn't find good for myself. I'm not the toxic one in the relationship anymore either, because in that one I obviously would have had a part to play. I think it takes two. But then in my last one I kind of fucked up because this person was more healed than me, and I fucked it up. But now I don't have to. So why can't I just be content with I'm single and I'm not looking for anyone, and I'm making my friends. I have enough friends. Like, why can't I just be happy with the friends I have? And why can't the walk outside my house, like, just be enough? Why can't just a rest day just be enough? Why can't just chilling out and getting high and watching YouTube and Netflix and playing games just be enough? Because, like, I'm not obligated to do anything. I'm not given any of this. I wasn't given any opportunity that I have on a silver platter or anything. Like, anything that I've achieved has nothing to do with anyone. Anything that I haven't achieved, anything that I lost out on, it wasn't anyone but me. I did that. When I lost, it was me. When I won, it was me. Next time I win, it'll be me. Next time I lose, it'll be me. And that's just the way life works. But it's kind of beautiful that I can just lose, in my opinion. It's kind of beautiful that I can just win. Like, we have to kind of appreciate that, like, all of this is going to happen. Everything that is happening will happen and will continue to happen, may happen again. And the good things, they may never happen again. And these experiences that you actually think are bad experiences when you love someone and it's terrible, I still, for some reason, wish that I held on to or cherished how shitty my first, like, proper relationship was, because it was just, the good times were good. And I get nostalgic because we both healed so much about each other, and at the same time made each other so much worse. But that was because we were in such a fragile position. Now, the person that she has turned into, unfortunately, isn't the same as the person that I turned into. I turned into a person that is more like, oh, yeah, I take a step back and I realise what happened. Like, I used to work on myself anyway and try to become, like, I don't know, I always, like, was really self-aware, and I would always try and, like, work at these little things. So, like, when we would have arguments and stuff, I would, like, figure out ways to kind of improve, figure out what I'm doing wrong, how to not do it the next time and stuff like that. And, like, I wasn't perfect, but she just liked to play the victim and stuff. But I still wish that I learned to cherish how nice it was to just cuddle for hours and eat food with somebody and just feeling, like, loved. I wish I cherished stuff, because now I feel like dating is kind of about, like, money and, like, red flags and all this shit. And we all have high standards, which is good and all, but, like, I don't feel like anyone's really loving each other for who they really are. It kind of feels like it's just, yeah, like a game of TikTok red flags, which, I mean, I guess, man, I don't know. So I don't know what any of this is turning into. But one thing I will say is I think I'm, like, now I'm coming up on a year being single. I think it will be maybe today or tomorrow. I think it might be tomorrow is the anniversary of my breakup. You know, maybe that's one of the reasons why I just feel in my body not great. But I just kind of get like this anyway. And I don't think it matters because there's always going to be like an anniversary for some shit happening. There's always going to be a reminder of something shit happening or that happened. And like you just can't get away from that fact. So like in 2 months or whatever, you know, I can't really think of anything bad that happened in October. I think October is a terrible month, but like in around October or something, let's say, like if something comes up and it's like a Snapchat memory on this day or whatever, I just think of something like, is that gonna deconstruct my happiness? Am I just gonna have to wait to be happy? Am I gonna have to wait to feel like content? It doesn't really like make sense to me why I would, you know, let something from the past take control and make me feel bad now. And I feel like sometimes it's literally just about like something like this, like actually like just think like deep these kinds of things, like think about it. Like, is this even anything? Like, I also like to think about like in the grand scheme of things. In 10 years, like we're talking more like inconveniences or small arguments and not so much like heartbreak or something like that, or like losing a loved one or whatever, like those kinds of things. I feel like that's just extremely different. But like losing a small friendship or whatever, or arguing with someone or breaking up with someone or whatever, in 10 years, will it not all be different? The answer to that could be no. And the reason that I think it could be no is if you dwell. If you were just thinking about how that breakup happened or whatever it may be, and you're not like actively sort of like, I deserve to be loved again, it will get better for me, yada yada yada. Like, what do you expect to feel? Because what you are going to feel is like that you don't deserve love, that you won't find someone else, and that can be instilled for 10 years. Like these kind of like really bad habits and stuff like that, like it can actually like be instilled for years. Like, what do you think people hate their parents so much? Because they have bad habits that have been instilled for years. Like they were raised weird or whatever. They were beaten as a kid, so they beat their kids, or they thought being gay was wrong, so they beat their gay kid, or whatever it is, you know. Like, there's so many things that our parents did that we didn't agree with because we had more education and we knew better. But them, like when they were kids, they, I guarantee you, didn't exactly think that that was the most amazing way to go about raising a kid. But it's the way that they were raised. And in a way, we actually raise ourselves on these beliefs that we're told, because we have the choice every time, even when like you're, to an extent, when you're being emotionally abused, you technically have the choice to neglect these things that are being said to you. So you can go, and this kind of works more later in your like kind of like teens, I feel like, maybe early to late teens, in your kind of, sorry, in middle to late teens, in your early teens and like tweens and all these things. This is not really the same, but as you start to grow, you start to weed out what is bullshit and what isn't, and you can sense it when you are a kid that things are bullshit. And like for some people, like I could sense when I was about 8 that the things that my dad would say to me were just complete bullshit. Like, if you tell me I'm a terrible kid, I would believe it part of me, but I in some instances I had the kind of the power to go, it's just not true. But of course, most of the time you're left crying or whatever, and you feel like shit. But as you grow older, like I said, you're able to weed these things out. So gradually, we get better at this naturally. From a young age, we can here and there go, oh, that doesn't sound right. To 14, 15, this isn't right. Like, you kind of rebel and you're like, no, this isn't right. So when you're 17, 18, 19, you're like, no, this isn't right, and I know it, and I'm gonna trust myself a little bit here. And then you reap the rewards of that. So it's like a slow but steady like incline, and it feels like a decline at a lot of points. But like, I feel as though like that's what living is, and that's how you get to live. Like, you gradually go, no, that was bullshit, and this is what I think is right, and this is what I actually thought was right that I was taught, and that's you. I feel like have to cut off the excess sort of bullshit that you've been told is you, but it isn't you. And it's the same for when you're in school and you kind of go to college and you don't want to be the person that you were in school. You want to be someone new, and college feels like an opportunity, but you kind of have to stray away from the people that you went to school with. Like, I found that it wasn't by accident, but it wasn't like on purpose being like, oh, fuck these people that I went to school with. Like, I still had love for them, but the main thing was like, I can't start a photography business with you people as my friends. I can't do social media with you people as my friends. I couldn't dye my hair with you people as my friends. I couldn't get tattoos with you people as my friends. I couldn't be myself with you people as my friends. There's obviously so much more to it than just like, oh, tattoos in a business. It's not that deep. But other people's mindsets will affect yours. Other people's work ethic will affect yours. Other people's outlook, all these things will affect yours. And like, I really, really felt when I was in secondary school that like, just none of these people really think the same way that I do. And I felt that way in primary school as well, to an extent. But secondary school, it was just bad. By the last couple of years, I was doing stand-up comedy and I was trying to do social media. And I remember when I was doing it in kind of my first couple of years of high school, secondary school, everyone found my channel, everyone found my music, and they were like, oh, this is gas, boys, like, you know, laughing. But I didn't think it was funny. I thought I was like building something, even if it was bad. Like, I thought I was building something, and that made me feel okay to keep going. Like, but I just completely stopped these videos, and I tried to fit in, and like, you know, oh, if they think it's not cool to post, then I won't, and all that. But then I reached a level when I was like 16, 17 of like, no, I'm not happy being the person that you guys want me to be, but also realizing that I'm not even happy with who I am. Like, I am that in between of nobody and somebody, which in itself is just nobody. Like, it's, so I have all these things that I want to do, I have all these things that I want to say, all these ideas, all these plans, all these different things. But then when it comes to interacting with people, I'm not doing anything, I'm not saying anything, I'm just doing and saying what they want me to say, what they think is the right thing to say, what they think is funny and all that. And it's just, when I was kind of isolated, when I had to work at 16, like part to full time, I realized like I don't know who I am. I had to work with adults, people who are 5 years older than me, 6 years older than me. I realized, like, talking to these people, I don't have a personality. I was like, I want to do stand-up comedy, and this is my dream. And I want to do probably TikTok and YouTube skits, and this is my dream, just to be like kind of an entertainer. And I was like, this just isn't gonna work, because I haven't developed myself. I don't know why that dumbass kid was like walking into me. I kind of had to intimidate him. Anyway. But I felt like a little bitch, like, growing up. and it slowly got worse and worse, and then unbearable. And I would smoke weed, and I would sit alone in my room, and I spoke with friends a lot. I had my friend group. We would smoke. We would watch Big Les or Rick and Morty, just SpongeBob. We would just watch cartoons and laugh. South Park, watch funny movies, and it was so good for a while. But even that, I was like, yeah, but we're bigger than just this, you know. Like, we don't have to just smoke weed and watch videos. We don't have to just be stoners. We can actually do other stuff. Like, we can be good. Like, we can have passions and interests. It felt like I had made friends that didn't have passions or interests. They just wanted to get high, and I was like, well, that's fine. We can get high, but what else is there to it? So I kind of was in a tricky position. So I think it's important that you ask that question. Can't we be more? Is this all we can be? Because I think we can be more, and this isn't all we can be. I think you know that, and I think even if your friends don't, you can let them know that they could be, because I think some people just don't know that they have potential, which is okay too. Like, I don't think that it's a crime to not know if you could start a business or to not know if you could do content creation or something. I think it's a crime to not kind of cheer your friends on. To be honest, I think that's a crime. My friends, they didn't really cheer me on like that. And like, I would cheer them on when they wanted to do something, which was rare. They didn't really typically want to do something. But the point is, I tried to be excited about their lives, and they just weren't really excited about mine. So that's why I strayed away, and that's why I made new friends, and that's why I built a new life that I have, so I could have friends that are supportive, so I could have friends that I do feel appreciated by. And I'm not fully there, but I've made an upgrade. I'm friends with people who are doing things that I want to do. I'm friends with people who will make a short film or a skit with me, and that's confirmed because I've done that now. I'm friends with people who will make music with me, or start a clothing brand with me, or help me with business, or I can do business with. And like, I just think that that's much better than having to do it alone. And I think that that's what living is. I think it's finding other people who can help you live. Because I think other people really can help you live. I don't think you have to do any of this by yourself, to be honest. And not any small part of it has to be alone. So in summary, yeah. Living is every morning trying your best and showing up for you, but also letting yourself rest. Peace.